Hi, my name is Betsy Martin. I am here today to tell you about ODD, which is optional defiant disorder. It hits home to me because my son also got diagnosed with it within the last month and a half. He was more defiant in the last 6 months, arguing with me, not working with me, very touchy, very annoyed. These are symptoms you need to look for with kids. And there's always that possibility that there's an underlining other diagnosis that needs to get figured out. We also just nicely got him tested for ADHD, which is one of the symptoms that, or one of the stages that can actually cause the ODD due to all the negative effects. Like if they're not listening to you, they're not working with you, you ask them to do something, they go find something else to do. Those are symptoms of the ODD, but it's an underlying effect from the ADHD that hasn't been diagnosed yet. Most of the time, the medications can help with the ADHD to help kind of lessen that effect for the ODD. Ways that we can work with it as a parent, there's ways to train, finding different ways to deal with a child, being able to, okay, going to go see a therapist. They're able to help you figure out ways to neutralize the argument, how to step back and say, hey, hold on a minute, we got to redo this, let's start back at square one, let's figure things out. You gotta keep it positive. You gotta try not to argue back with them. You have to try to work with them. Some of the risk factors that you need to look for, it can be temperamental, it can be family issues, it can be other family issues, or parenting issues. You can also, the environment. Is it the teachers? Is it the students? What can be causing the issues? What can be triggering the symptoms of it? Um, as the ADHD Educational Board talks about ODD versus ADHD, the facts about the optional defiant disorder and attention deficit, shows that there's roughly 40% of the children that have the ADHD also have the ODD disorder. Sorry. And then Royce Flippin, who works for Attitude, which also deals with the ADHD and the ODD. He shows different ways of treatments, the different choices, the parenting management training, um, learning to change the way that parents react to the children's behavior is a big one that definitely helps lessen the effects. You're accurate with the positives, your enthusiasm counts, showing that you're happy, they're doing a great job, trying to help them. So hopefully you can decrease the amount of anger they have to show. Um, and the other one is through the Mayo Clinic. They show the different causes, the different types of ways that they can be vindictive, and the anger issues, all the different steps of way they can work through everything. So, like I said, if your child has this going on for over 6 months, have them tested, bring them in. There's ways to find out whether they have it or not. Um, Going to a therapist is always a great way because the kids can actually talk to the therapist, get information out to them, explain to them what's going on, and then the therapist can rely and take that back to the parent and say, hey, we need to work on this, we need to fix this, we need to change how things are going. So being able to diagnose a child with it is definitely something that helps, but you most of the time you have to find the underlining reason for it. Like I said, my son was the one that had the ODD that we found out first. The underlining one was the ADHD. He had been tested 2 years prior to it for the ADHD, which both came back negative. So now that we have it, now we can work with it. Thank you for listening. Bye.